one and all. I hope everybody's doing well tonight. Now, welcome to another scintillating, enjoyable, and mind blowing episode of Informal IT. Okay, now that I just finished hyping everything up, it's 11 p.m. Now, I've done some reading, and this is a new topic. I'm bringing it out here. Let's see here. Let's bring it over here. Topic is smart bulbs. And surprise, surprise, they can be hacked. And oh my god, they can steal our Wi-Fi passwords. How on earth has someone not thought about this before? Oh well. Now enough with the sarcasm. I did some reading about this already on cybersecurity news. Here's the headline. And with enough snark, let's be real about this. Quite honestly, I don't have these particular models, but I do have one or two smart bulbs that I have for messing around, light show for the kids or whatever. It's kind of fun, but this can make a guy nervous. Because on the topic of Internet of Things, light bulbs, smart switches, little adapters that we buy on Amazon that we plug into our outlets in order to turn on lamps or turn on other devices in our house, like our TVs that have Alexa hooked onto it, or Apple TV or something like that, where all of a sudden, if they're hacked, we have certain vulnerabilities that we don't want, like cameras being turned on, or microphones being turned on, or God forbid you actually have a computer or a home server that's on all the time, that this thing allows someone to get onto your network and then get root access. God knows. What if you actually keep a file with a whole bunch of passwords, or even worse, unencrypted data that's actually important? Okay, now that I'm done scaring the crap out of you, because I'm scared myself, and trust me, I want to go through everything that I got plugged in and just double check to see where my vulnerabilities are, and I'm very likely going to be doing that tonight. But seriously, this is a test that was done by a couple cybersecurity and security professionals and people doing university research. Now, they mention a very interesting tool called Pet IoT, and apparently it's an Internet of Things focused kill chain uh, tool, and it's used to detect network vulnerabilities. It's kind of like doing an Nmap on someone's house. That's the way I'm interpreting this. And if you're not sure about what Nmap is, there are plenty of sources on YouTube, across the internet. If you want to actually just read and go through specs, I don't need to explain that for you. But they mentioned a couple of names here. David Bonaventure and Giampaolo Bella, both of them from the Dipartimento de Matematica y Informatica, Universidad de Catania. This is in Italy. And then you have Sergio Esposito from the Information Security Group at Royal Holloway University in London. Now, there might be a couple of other professionals, but these are the names they're dropping. Now, they did some tests on certain light bulbs. There is the Tapo L530E. I really don't care about the model numbers. Normally, if the manufacturer has a vulnerability on one set of their products, chances are, humans being the way they are, they probably cut and paste and put it into other products that they're offering. So, with that, let's drink the coffee and move forward. Uh, one of the one of these things that they mentioned, this specific topo is a multicolor light bulb, and it had quite a few vulnerabilities here. Let me scroll up here. Uh, these have been confirmed. There's a lack of authentication on the smart bulb, and that has a high severity score. It's got hard-coded short secrets. Basically, from my interpretation and my understanding, this is like hard coding your password to access this thing. It's not even giving you the option to change it. Might have the option. I don't have the device. I don't have the manuals. I don't have the specs in order to be able to tell you how to do that. But considering they're giving it a high severity score, I'm assuming a lot of people don't check. Then there's also a lack of randomness during the symmetric encryption. That's considered medium severity, but that's also something that also raises people's hackles up, especially with a lot of enterprise jobs. IT people have really migrated and done a good job trying to put in multi-factor authentication for certain web applications and so forth. But this is the hardware here. Not many people actually try to change security on hardware. I mean, a couple years ago, people didn't even think about changing the security on their routers. People have gotten better about that, but there's still quite a few people that haven't read the memo, so the vulnerabilities still exist. Insufficient message freshness. I'm assuming that means there's not enough updates, security updates, or any other kind of firmware updates that would probably improve things. I'd have to do a little bit more reading up on that, but that's also given a medium severity. But as they mention here, exploring the lack of authentication of the smart bulb with the tapo at the flaw the attackers gain are able to gain access to the device and also the Wi-Fi credentials, either by impersonating the bulb in setup mode or by de-authenticating it and then re-authenticating or going through a setup all over again. Once getting these credentials, they can launch a man-in-middle attack. Now, instead of me having to explain the whole thing, let's look at the diagrams. Your basic setup. You got your hacker computer trying to get to the switch, and you have the Android app. With the man-in-middle attack, this is closer to where it is. You, your hacker wants to access to your app and also to the device. In the middle attack, you're trying to access the device, and you're trying to use your Android app to access the device. The problem is, this guy is standing between those two. He's basically doing a pass-through. And if you were in a cartoon, you'd have some villain all in black with a really big black hat and a big notepad and a humongous pencil scribbling down every password and everything that's interesting there. Or maybe not. I have a lot of imagination when I'm kind of tired. But here's the attack scenario. Fake bulb discovery messages generations. Okay, password exfiltration from the Tapo user account. Man in the middle attack with configured Tapo device. Replay the attack with the smart bulb as the victim. Man in the middle attack with the unconfigured Tapo device. Basically, it's this. You're sending a message, he gets it. He scribbles everything down that he wants and sends it through. This happens very quickly. With that, we gotta take into consideration now. In response, TP-Link assured researchers that they would fix these flaws affecting the app with the firmware of the bulb. So, when this update kicks in for this particular device, and how many other devices TP-Link actually makes, we don't know. They're saying soon. That could be probably this week, could be in 6 months, could be never. This is one of the things that people have to be aware of and keep an eye on, especially if they're using these devices. So, that's pretty much it. I'll leave this cool graphic here just so that way we can drive it home. Now, with that, I wish you all a good night.